name is Scarano. I'm working at Scarano Architect on the Bright and Green project, helping to get certified by some of our certification programs, Living Building Challenge, and some other ones, focusing specifically on Living Building Challenge. I think there's a lot of really exciting aspects of Bright and Green. One of them is that we have a really big focus on locally made products. So in an ever globalizing economy, you can get a tabletop from China and, source products from all over the world, and something that we really tried to focus on was to have products that were made as close to our project as possible, not only to comply with the Living Building Challenge and LEED certification, but also to kind of enhance the American economy when so many factory jobs are being outsourced overseas, to try to stimulate the American economy here at home, and also try to combat some of the carbon emissions that are given off from shipping things back and forth all over the world. I think that supporting locally made products is a really important environmental feature of the building. Another exciting feature is that it's a net zero energy user, which means that all of the energy that we need for the project in total for the residences and the community facility is being generated on site through solar panels. And at first glance that seems like it's not really possible because of New York City being half of the year maybe cloudy or in winter, but through our studies we've seen that we can produce an excess of power that we're going to need through solar and some wind turbines as well, so then we don't need to connect to the New York City grid, which ultimately we get most of our electricity from coal-fired power plants, which get their coal from mountaintop removal in Appalachia. And there's a whole cycle of dirty energy that we wanted to avoid with this project, and I'm really excited that we were able to do that by generating our own power on site. It's also an exciting feature of the project is that we're recycling all of our water use. So all of the stormwater that comes onto our site is funneled down into rain catchment systems, which then goes out to our river and pond system to clean and circulate the water to then be used to flush toilets and used for irrigation and other building apparatuses and systems. So we're reusing the stormwater that would otherwise flood and go into the city sewer system, which is a combined system of sewer and storm. And so basically what that means is in a heavy storm, like the ones we've seen, the city sewers get overloaded with all of the stormwater plus all of the sewage, and that's why it backs up into the beaches and we can't swim and this and that. So in our local economy and our local area of New York City, water excess is a really big problem as opposed to other locations where water shortage is a really big problem. So finding ways to keep excess water from going into the sewer is a really important thing. And also we're addressing our gray and black water needs too, because we have composting toilet systems. So basically instead of a normal sewer system where you go to the bathroom and it goes down the drain and into the sewer, we have a composting system where the solid waste goes down into a composting unit that has worms in it, and they compost the solid waste and reduce the biomass by a huge amount. And in a few years that is compost that can be used in landscaping projects. And then the liquid waste, it goes through a UV filter and then is added to the stormwater, which is purified altogether and back into the tanks to flush the toilets again. So I think that our whole water system management plan is really progressive and a really good model to show that even a small project like ours, which is only 6 units, can handle its own water treatment and water needs without tapping into the city system, which is really inefficient and outdated and problematic. So another really exciting part of this project is that we're not hooked up to the gas system at all, so we're not getting any natural gas for heating or cooking. And why that's important is because here in our region, hydrofracking is a really controversial issue. So hydraulic fracturing is a method of natural gas drilling where you go down into the ground and tap into gas reserves to get them to come up and collect them. And so the way that they do that is they inject into wells that they drill a high pressure mix of chemicals and water and sand into the ground to get the gas, to create fractures and fissures in the ground and get the gas to be released from the pockets where it's stored. And the problem with that is that these chemicals can seep into the groundwater, pollute people's well water, and this is in rural communities where people use well water, as well as the methane can leak into people's wells, and people have been known to turn their faucet on and light their water on fire. And the gas industry is touting this as a really clean, efficient energy that burns a lot cleaner than coal does, but really, like, if you look at the whole process and the means of extracting it is really detrimental to rural communities. It wastes millions of gallons of water, and it's a new system that's not fully tested yet, and so we just wanted to avoid that as well by not being hooked up to the gas system. So all of our cooking is electric. We have induction cooking cooktops and electric ovens, and which are all powered by our solar panels, so we're not connected to the extractive economy at all, which is really, really great. So I think this project is really important, basically because it's just a grassroots approach to dealing with so many different environmental problems. I mean, we could wait around for our energy to reform and have clean energy. We could wait around for New York City to amend our sewage system and try to create a more sustainable system. But really, I think change is going to come from people just deciding on their own that they need to build differently, they need to live differently, and do things on their own. And I think that's why this project is really exciting, because it's just a view into what the future could really look like, that sustainable building is possible, it's affordable, and that it actually is all of the things that it claims to be. And I think that the people that live at this project are gonna feel a really big sense of just like well-being and knowing that they're helping contribute to an economy that's more sustainable and that's gonna propel us into a better future.